So we are discussing record keeping from the unit BSP WHS 401, and the items we have here: record keeping systems, record keeping tools, data collection, then self-quiz as usual. You notice after record keeping, we will have the WHS training needs, then we have appendix, and this way we will finish the unit after we finish these topics. So record keeping systems, we have some systems. We can start with simple systems like just an Excel sheet in a very small business like sole trader or business at home. So here we keep records of the risk management process. So for example, what I have at my home, in my house, I have implemented some risk controls. So I have smoke detector. I have security system. I activate the security system once I leave the house. I have cameras in place. I have fire extinguisher. I have fire blanket. When I bought these items, do I need to change some batteries or hard drives or updates or upgrades or monitoring or many things I can think of? So are there any incidents happened, any issues raised? So for my organizations also, for my organization, we keep the records. Someone was smoking, so we need to keep a record for that, why this person did so. Small fire happened, so what was the reason? An incident happened, what is the reason behind that? Car crash at the car park, so why? So we need to keep these records for audit purposes, for also training purposes. So I can train people on how to use the fire extinguisher. I train people how to evacuate the building and go to the master point. Do you know the emergency exit at TAFE campus? If you don't know about that, it's really a good idea. When you go to TAFE, study that. You will find the maps everywhere in classes and everywhere, so you can know exactly the nearest emergency exit. Where is the fire hose? Where is the fire extinguisher? Where is the sanitizing stations? You can find administrative controls, some signs telling you where and what to do. Okay, so this will help in providing training for new employees, new students, current ones. If we are updating our policies, procedures, we from record keeping, we can have some solid knowledge about the safe work procedures. What went right? What went wrong? What other risks involved there? How can we reduce these risks? We have bushfire. It's a repeated, recurring risk every year. During summer, we have the bushfire risk. How can we deal with this one? Reduce the impact of this risk. It will happen, yes. So we monitor it closely. We learn from previous lessons. We learn the lessons from previous incidents. We tell people no open fire in camping. We tell people don't smoke there, or don't throw your ciggy butts there, and so forth. So we try to reduce the risk. We have policies in place. We have rangers. We have regulators. We have shareholders, customers. They give us feedback. They help us implementing the policy. They monitor. They take some decisions. Okay. Compliance. We need to make sure that we are compliant with rules and regulations, state rules and regulations, country rules and regulations. So we have these records. We keep the records for quite some time, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's based on the organization type, size, location, what field they are working in, what laws and regulations apply to this organization. So we need to keep the records for quite some time, so we meet the standards and requirements. So we use these records in different situations. First aid, medical post records, inductions, instructions, training, any record of alcohol or drug use, worker compensation and rehabilitation records, hazards, chemical registers, manufacturer and supplier information, including dangerous goods, storage lists, plant and equipment maintenance and testing reports, workplace environmental monitoring records, audit and inspection reports, consultation, as we mentioned in previous sessions also, for example, minutes of meeting of health and safety committees. So we keep these records. Work team meeting agendas, including WHS items and actions. Every time we have a meeting, we have WHS share. When I was working in mining, it's every day. During the daily meeting, we have WHS share. So it depends on the environment. So we keep the records in a system, could be database, could be manual one, could be Excel sheet, it depends. Could be a big ERP solution, enterprise resource planning solution, like SAP, for example, SAP. So it depends on the system and the size of information we are keeping in this system. The tools we are using, it could be handbooks, could be charts, checklists, registers, graphical representation, it could be digital tools, it can be different machines, like monitoring different network parts or servers, could be both digital and manual, so it depends. Okay, so we use different tools for the record keeping. We can just have files like that, manual hard copy files in file cabinets like old days. Still do that in many organizations, of course, in addition to the digital records. So I hope one day we don't use papers at all, so we don't cut trees. Anyway, so we protect the environment. So data collection. We said that we will keep the records, but when we will create these records, how we will record this information. So how we will record the data and what is the frequency of that. So documents for reviews can include memos, correspondence, different policies, procedures, some suppliers information like dangerous goods, storage lists, how to do that, relevant Australian standards and certification requirements, plant and equipment maintenance and testing reports, meeting minutes, in addition to agendas, relevant regulations, dangerous goods declaration where applicable, different reports. We have workplace environmental monitoring records like the amount of noise or air pollution or heat and so forth. So workers' compensations, safety data sheets, hazards, incidents, investigation reports. So if there is a hazard happened, have we investigated that? Incident happened, have we investigated that? Hazards, substances registers, quality assurance procedures, audit reports, first aid, medical post records. So we have lots and lots of inputs comes from different tools, different actions, different stakeholders, different situations. So we have some advantages and disadvantages. So you can get comprehensive and historical information. Yes, we are talking about data collection and record keeping. It doesn't interrupt operations or a client or colleague's time. The information already exists. There are few biases about the information. Definitely, we are human beings. Disadvantages, so it can take a lot of time for documentation review. Information may be incomplete. You need to be quite clear about what you are looking for. You may be limited to information about what already exists, not on what is needed. Sometimes it's obsolete data, old data, 5 years ago. So we have new things now, or even if we are estimating cost of a fire alarming system, 5 years ago, it's totally different than nowadays. And cameras 5 years ago have more features nowadays. Phones 5 days ago, computers and so forth 5 years ago have less technology, different prices than nowadays or future. So using historical data has also its own disadvantages. That makes sense? Yeah. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. So provide 4 examples of records you may need to examine when reviewing records to identify trends in occupational injury or disease. Any examples? Any examples here? Environmental monitoring, incident reports. Yes, environmental monitoring records. Yes, incident reports. Good. What else? Meeting notes, meeting minutes, hazards substance registers. Yes, policies, procedures, prior health conditions. Yes. Meeting minutes and agendas. Yes. Investigation in hazards, incidents, rules, regulations, first aid records. Yes. Good. Good. Anything else? Safe work websites of your state. Yes, correct. Thank you, everyone, for your input. Any questions for me before the break? Any questions? Okay. We will take 10 minutes break. So thank you for your time.